Greetings, exiles, and I continue my journey. Let's start with the upgrades. I need this jewel, and at the start of this league, when I wanted to buy it, it cost 20 divine orbs. And since I'm not a madman, I'm not gonna buy it for such a price. I bought some breach scarabs. I made an atlas like this and started hunting for the coveted breach stones. Let's see what I found. My old friend. Nothing interesting. Sag. And another one. No way. And another miss. Nice. Wow. Not bad. That's 3 divine orbs. Looks like my streamer client has activated, but honestly, I'm interested in other items. Just what I need. Perfect. And there's my jewel. And I didn't have to buy it for an insane price. More spell suppression. Very nice. And 1 tattoo. I also have a lot of breach stones left that I can easily sell and earn some divine orbs. Breach farm has been fun and even a bit profitable, but I'm done with that mechanic, so I'm moving on. I need a new belt. And for that I need essences. I managed to gather some essences. That should be enough. Surely. Sometimes lucky, all the time. And now the Hunter's Exalted Slam. Chaos damage. That's not exactly what I need. Let's sell this belt and try again. But this time we'll just buy a good belt. 1 more Hunter's Exalted Orb. No way. T2 and low roll. Let's fix this quickly. Not the most ideal thing, but I'm totally fine with this belt because I'm not obsessed with perfect gear. And of course an Abyss jewel to go with it. I also need a jewel like this one. But I won't be buying it, of course. I have some an audience with the king. Let's do them and see if I can find anything interesting. Nothing interesting. Nice. It's not fire damage, but it's good. And another one. But this time it's a miss. And then I had an interesting accident that I want to tell you about because it may help beginners. When I put the price on the jewel with cold damage, I made a mistake and put the price too low. We are all human, we all make mistakes sometimes. And literally 10 seconds later I got this message. So if you put something up for sale and you immediately get a message about buying it, that's the first sign that you made a mispricing and you're being written to by a scammer who wants to buy your item for much cheaper than the real market price. And this is the second sign that you are mispriced because they offer to buy your item slightly more expensive than you put it on the market. But since I'm an experienced player, I immediately realized that I did something wrong. So I changed the price and sold this jewel for the real price. I hope that this accident will help new players who watch this video. Now I can buy a jewel with fire damage. Next I need a new helmet because I need a 100% chance to suppress spell damage. Let's start by buying a base. Now harvest craft. Oh my god. T1 chaos resistance and spell suppression. Perfect. And some eldritch implicits. And of course new armor. As always you need a base. Harvest Craft. Essences. Alteration Spam. Not bad. Lucky Orb of Annulment. Nice. I really don't know what to do next, so I'm choosing the dumbest craft. Suffixes cannot be changed. And Harvest Chaos Reforge. Not the worst result. Benchcraft. Eldritch Implicits. And I'm done with the armor. I still need a new ring and boots, but I'll just buy them, because sometimes it's much cheaper to buy an item rather than crafting. Pretty good upgrades, and I've improved my defense quite a bit. But my stash is a bit empty, so it's time to go back to the maps. At first I thought to make an atlas with harbingers because in theory it's a good income. But then I saw the price of scarabs and realized that it makes sense to use them only on maps with Necropolis modifier that summons additional harbingers, but I will not search for these maps every hour. It's a cringe. So I went back to destructive play, ritual, and some scarabs nodes. A very lazy strategy, but let's see how it turns out. In my current setup, I use concentrated effect support, but if you want to try this build, I recommend replacing this support gem with an increased area of effect, preferably the awakened version. Now on your screen you can see the gameplay with increased area of effect, and you can immediately see that our map clearing speed has become much better. You can also go even further and replace the gold flask with Dying Sun for more AoE and additional projectiles. Also, you may have noticed that I now use Righteous Fire. This gem gives us more spell damage, and Flamewood support is a spell, so we get a lot of extra damage for free. Interesting. Scam. And another box. Now that's a good tink. And T0 unique item. Not a mage blood, but it's still nice to find a T0 item. And some more good tinks. And here's my loot that I found using this atlas. This strategy won't make you insanely rich in a few hours, but it's honest work. You know what I mean. And overall, this is enough currency for me for my new upgrades. Speaking of which, I'm gonna need a unique ring like this. And some new cursed gems. With Anathema, I'll be able to use 4 curses, and they will be. This will greatly improve our single target DPS. I will also use Enfeeble for extra defense in boss battles. Speaking of bosses, let's try a new currency earning strategy. The Feared. I'm sure this build will easily handle this content. It was easy. But the loot is terrible. Let's try it again. This time the loot is slightly better. I also found a pretty good Watcher's Eye. And one more Feared. Not bad. Overall pretty good, but there is one problem with this strategy. The league is dead and it's very hard to sell all these items. There are far more sellers than buyers. So it's time to end my career as a boss slayer. A few final upgrades. This Watcher's Eye I found at the start of my journey when I got my 4th Void Stone. No one ever bought it, so I'm going to use it. Reduced extra damage from critical strikes is a very useful characteristic. As for further improvements, I was going to buy Progenesis, but then I thought it was a waste of currency because we are practically immortal on the maps. We have 6 permanent endurance charges, 100% spell suppression chance, more than 60% spell and attack block with Lucky Block, which gives us a total of over 90% chance to block damage. We also have over 6,000 HP and our maximum resistance is 83%. Pretty good defense with many layers, and I think there is no point in investing for extra defense. Especially, I wanted to make a relatively cheap build that does not require expensive items. Although to tell the truth, I spent a lot of currency on these gloves and double corruption. I bought almost all the gloves on the market and went to the temple. But unfortunately I couldn't get +2 levels to socketed aura or AoE gems. That would be a very big boost to our damage, but not this time. So my final part of this journey will be with ethical gear. As you have already guessed, it's time for the grand finale. Uber bosses. I'll start with Cortex because it's the easiest battle. Especially if there are no crazy modifiers on the map. As you can see, it's easy and simple. No problems. And no loot. Worst Uber boss. Next up is the Uber Shaper. And another very easy battle. The only thing that can kill us here is Shaper's Slam, so watch out for it. I also think that this battle is easier than the non-Uber version because this battle has a lot of orbs that activate our totems very easily. Slam build, login, and another Uber boss. Honestly, this is another very simple battle, but I don't like this boss. And all because of the large number of damage over time puddles that can kill you very quickly, and you constantly have to watch where you are moving. And sometimes it's hard to do that. Like this. Otherwise, we have no problems, especially in the last phase when our totems are easily activated by rays. Bleed build, login, Uber Exarch. I'm not a dodge master, so this phase is a bit problematic for me. But it's softcore and we have ultimate defense in the form of 6 portals. A few deaths and I emerged victorious in this insanely difficult battle. Righteous Fire build, login. Loot from Uber bosses is a joke, by the way. Uber Elder. Now this is a pretty tough battle, I'm not gonna lie to you. And you have to be careful here. But again, nice and easy because our defense forgives us a lot of mistakes. No Watcher's Eye. Sag. Uber Eater. For this build, it's a very simple battle. And as you can see, I make a lot of mistakes and still don't die. Speaking of which, That's why I like this build, because we have good survivability with a minimal budget. And in general, as you can see, the build is quite cheap. Thank God. I was getting worried. The end of the video, and I haven't shown you the crazy lucky drop yet. Almost 200 divine orbs. Easy money. Now I can even buy mage blood, but of course I won't, because I don't need this cringe belt for this build. Anyway, the last battle. The most difficult for me, because I don't have a lot of practice against uber bosses. And as you can see, the arena is just terrible and it's a total mess. Sorry. But I didn't want to practice and show you a perfect battle. So I'm showing it as it is. By the way, thanks to my viewer who told me that in the last phase Maven lasers activate our totems, so the last phase is a joke for us. But even in this mess, I was able to beat Maven. Sweaty battle. Well, this was a fun little journey with a fun build. It's certainly not perfect like Lightning Strike Trickster, but still, as you can see, it can do a lot too. Although this build is not for everyone because it has its own nuances. But in any case, it was great fun. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. Thank you all for watching and commenting. I appreciate it. Also, I will be very grateful for your likes and subscription. Bye everyone, and see you in the new video.